So at the time of me posting this video, I had a community poll up where I asked what deck should I sleeve up in some brand new sleeves that I bought in real life out of 4 different choices, and with over 50% of the vote from over 250 votes, Rikka was the overwhelming favorite. So in honor of that, I'm making this Rikka deck montage, I guess, of 3 matches to show you how this deck plays in Master Duel in case you wanted to build the deck in real life or play it in Master Duel. It is a pretty cheap deck to make. I will link in the description the deck list, but in this video it looks like we are going second and the opponent is on some trap hole stuff, so this might be some plant on plant violence if the opponent is on Traptrix, which we do expect them to be. Because they max-seed us, we aren't going to extend further during our turn, and now the opponent is able to continue to extend, so they seemingly got off to a perfect start. And if you know anything about Rikka, you know that it really suffers against back row decks. Labyrinth, Traptrix, and any other deck that plays a lot of back row, this deck really suffers. Where it excels exponentially though, is if you're going up against a deck where monsters are played, which is like 80-90% of Yu-Gi-Oh decks. So, you know, this is an uphill battle for us. The opponent has stopped us with the treacherous trap hole. They stopped us from extending with Max C, and now they're going to extend with their Traptrix monster into, of course, Sarah. Sarah is able to generate so much advantage whenever traps are activated and monster effects are activated. It's just a nightmare to deal with sometimes in the resource game. So how are we actually going to attempt to deal with this? The opponent's got their resource game going. They're going to go into an Abyss Dweller, oddly enough here. This isn't tier limit, so don't know what they're doing here. And this was in like Platinum/Diamond rank opponents for some reason. But, you know, the guy could have activated Dweller there, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure that would have negated Petal, but maybe he didn't know. So when Petal comes back, they actually use Floodgate Trap Hole. So I'm like, that's totally fine. I'd rather you waste your traps on my monsters because I can just tribute them off anyways. But I have to be careful because I know that they have set this card, the network. Oh geez, sorry, not network, the Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, which means that when a monster that was special summoned this turn activates its effect on my field, he can negate the effect and destroy that card. So I have 3 amazing cards that I would love to activate on the field. Like I can activate this and make everything level 8. I can activate this and search for field spell. I can activate this, and well, I don't have to special summon this one, but I can get the effect for Petal. But these 2 I can get negated on. So I summon Petal, it gets compulsed, which will trigger Sarah. And this is what it is, right? It's just like, oh my gosh, an infinite grind game. They're going to reset the Gravedigger and then set a Floodgate. So it's just like, what am I going to do here? I bring out 2 monsters in attack mode, knowing that they can't activate either of the 2 traps they just set. And Gravedigger will be banished next turn if I don't trigger it. So I'm actually just going to commit to beating over their monsters and leaving them with nothing but Abyss Dweller. They have, I know all of their traps that they have right at this point, and we know Gravediggers will be banished at the end of this turn. So Abyss Dweller takes out my monster, and they just set another card, which is now an unknown. Gravedigger gets banished, and that's it. So, and they're going to use their Floodgate once again on our Petal. Don't they know we have a Petal in hand? They just compulsed it, but whatever. So, you know, we're using up the opponent's resources, and the one thing I found out with Traptrix, I have played against this deck at locals as well with Flow Under Ease, going second both times, and I beat it 2-0. You out there Sarah, and their resource game just suffers tremendously. You know, I mean, in Flow Under Ease, I was playing like Dark Ruler and Evenly Matched, and speak of which, there's the Evenly. So I'm just going to switch my things to defense, see if he's going to attempt to out my board, and just try to get as much value off this Evenly as possible, expecting him to continue to set more cards. They opt to not even beat over the Petal, which I was like, okay, that's interesting, but they're going to Torrential here. And I'm like, oh, all right, that's good for me too. See what they want to do here. We know what one of their cards are still, but not the other. They're going to set this one, and then, oh, they do draw another Gravediggers, unfortunately. I probably shouldn't have activated that Petal because I wanted to evenly matched, but I guess it's okay. So in the scenario, we're just going to go straight battle phase, activate evenly. They keep the unknown card, so we knew what this was. We're going to go into Dryas, which is actually surprisingly good in this matchup, where if I take damage, I'll gain the life back, but I mean, I'm at 1800 now, so, you know, if I take another Gravediggers, I'm gonna die before I can gain the life back, so that's not gonna be too helpful. But if I end up gaining life another way and can survive another Gravediggers, or if they bring back the Gravediggers and I gain life, I can survive it now and not have to worry about getting burned to death. So yeah, my draws haven't been the greatest, but this is the power of Rikka. Just the Rikka Petal recursion alone is so powerful. Now we're going to attempt to extend, and it looks like the opponent doesn't have something that threatens us in terms of traps. And so we're getting our plays off here. We're going to bring Glamour off Concon finally. And it looks like we were in the end able to out-resource Traptrix, which is one of our worst matchups, right? The opponent doesn't even want to deal with it at this point because using up a lot of their traps, they've probably burned through a good portion of their engine. And then with the Rikka Princess in rotation, we are going to shut down the Sarah resource game. And then the opponent's going to be on nothing because we're going to beat over the Sarah, right? When they try to bring another one out if they top deck a Traptrix monster. So, just because something looks hopeless, as usual with my videos, if you've watched any of them, don't give up. It's worth playing out if you actually want to win. If you just want to get on to the next match, I mean, I guess you can give up, but that's not a good life philosophy. You're never going to get anywhere in life if you just give up. Work hard, think about it, problem solve. That'll get you places. All right, what are we doing in this match? Going second once again. This guy is actually in Diamond, so this is interesting. They are on True Draco. Once I saw no extra deck, I was like, oh, it has to be True Draco. And sure enough, it is. But funnily enough, this deck doesn't play any negates, and so if you have an evenly matched, you're in pretty good shape. So I'm not too worried. The opponent's going to set up here. I really have no idea what these cards do. I didn't play the game and never played this deck. I didn't play the game when these cards were popular, I guess, and I never played the deck. But I probably should, because it's a budget deck for sure. I think it has maybe like just a couple ultra rares and everything is rare or normal, and then there's just a couple super rares. But our hand is not the greatest, but it's workable, right? It can become great if we can get through our plays. So the evenly matched resolves. The opponent keeps the Dynamite Knight, and I guess that gives them an effect. Yeah, so when I activate something, they're gonna activate a trap card, and this is why True Draco can be annoying. And I've played against this deck before, so I know what it can do to a certain extent. Like they destroy their cards and then trigger the effects in the graveyard and stuff like that. So just taking the time to read over some things, you have to know how to play around stuff. And I get their monster off the field because this card is non-threatening to me right now. And I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Muda. This Concon just straight up, I think, beats the True Draco deck, sorry. Because it just, when you activate the effect of your monster to summon by tributing, that's cost. So the opponent's cards can't react to that cost effect activating. They can activate after the cost has been paid, but after the cost has been paid, the monster's already tributed off the field. This is why Rikka is so strong especially against monster-based decks, because it can just absolutely devastate them and not give them the chance to respond. It's how in Duelist Cup, when I was using this deck, I was beating like Sword Soul and all these decks that were putting up like Baron with Floors and Cheese House and all these negates, and I was just like, tribute your monster, you can't respond, and bring out my monsters, and then just extend, and then the Rikka resource game just out-resources like every other deck if they can't stop it. So yeah, that's kind of what happened here. The evenly matched obviously help in outing their back row, because if anything, I would say True Draco is more of a back row deck, which again, if you watch the first clip in this video, is what Rikka suffers against. So to a certain extent, it's tough to deal with. And what's even more tough is the fact that like Rikka doesn't really play things like Lightning Storm, because you have like face up field spell and things like that. So Lightning Storm has really limited value, and you're bringing your pedal back and whatnot. So it's pretty tough to do. Regardless though, the opponent does have 2 traps in rotation now, and they can send one of these to trigger the effect. But once again, we're going to tribute their monster, and this is pretty funny. Look what happens here. So they're probably thinking like, oh, I gotta get this Sacred Tree Beast off the field. It's the big threat. And I'm just like, dude, no, it's not. So go ahead, send your trap. I knew he was going to do this and cut the monster's attack in half. But I'm like, I'm just going to make everything level 8 with Snowdrop, and then bring out double Rikka, Teardrop, and then bring out Lily and attack for game. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. The effect triggers are going to pop the Sacred Tree Beast. That's totally fine. Make everything level 8. Go into Teardrop number 1. Go into Teardrop number 2. Special summon Lily Borea by attaching a plant monster in the graveyard. And then, yeah, sure, activate Concon for no reason, because the game's about to end. What's nice about this too, and I've actually won a game because of this, if you just need to squeeze out a little bit more damage, attack with the non-teardrop monsters first, then you can always tribute the non-teardrop monster, even if it's your own, to gain attack on your teardrop, and it might be enough to give you enough damage for game. So in this case, I didn't need to do it, but I did it anyways to show you here. So detach material, tribute our own Borea after it attacks, gain 200 attack on both teardrops, which gives me 3000 attack on each, right? An extra 400 points of damage. Attack for, I did it for a challenge. I think you get one extra like set of points if you do over 3000 damage. So yeah, that was that. But GG's, that was Rikka against True Draco. Alright, I don't even remember this match, so we're gonna have to kind of just commentate as we go. I'll probably remember when, oh, we actually going first, when the opponent starts playing. Okay, so we get instantly stopped. We have no extension off this. Oh, never mind, what am I saying? I'm stupid. Of course, we have Concon. I thought, never mind. I'm an idiot. So Concon, grab Glamour, tribute, Petal. Again, this is, again, make me eat my words. Show why Rikka can play through Interruption. Go ahead and now bring out Primula and Princess. So again, this may not look like the strongest end board, but ending on Strenna, I already know what I'm going to do. End on Strenna with Princess Engrave, Glamour for follow-up, and an Ash Blossom. Set this as a bluff because it doesn't do anything right now. Technically, you want to search this card off of the Link 4 Sun Avalon monster. They have Raigeki, which is like super bad for me. I'm just like, oh my god, I really Raigeki? Because that turns off my Princess in the Grave. And it, you know, my Rikka Queen follow-up is bringing out Sacred Tree Beast, right? So Princess tribute Strenna, negate a monster effect, bring out Sacred Tree Beast, that's another monster negate on their turn, and then I have Ash Interruption as well. So 3 interruptions, now all eliminated thanks to Raigeki. We're going to opt to Ash the Foolish Burial Goods, and the opponent reveals they're on, I guess, these rank up cards, which I guess are used with sharks. So that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know these were all ultra rares too, so this guy definitely was probably just like waiting to use this like amazingly spicy deck. But again, Rikka follow-up, Petal coming back every turn is just absolutely insane. So go ahead and activate Petal effect, get Mood on, Tribute, bring out a Spell or Trap from the deck, activate Glamour, because we can bring Glamour back for free off Strenna, make another Strenna. Like, the Rikka resource game is unmatched, dude. Like, it is so good. Oh my gosh, that's why I bought the cards in real life. Like I said at the beginning, when I heard those cards were getting reprinted and I was playing this deck, I was like, dude, this deck is insane. It'd be amazing to play for fun, or if I notice that like my locals is becoming like a monster heavy meta, like Rikka will just dominate. It's also won the European Championship in 2022, beating Tier Limits before Ishizu came out. So yeah, that was interesting. Anyways, back to the match here. We've dealt with this before. If you watch my previous Rikka match video, which was like a live commentary, I'll link it in the description. We know what these cards do. So we know that this card, if it's destroyed with material, can like have an effect here. I forget what it is. But yeah, when this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard while it has material, special summon it back from the graveyard, gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. So we're not going to destroy it. We're going to tribute it by activating Tranquility, using Concon to tribute the opponent's monster and bring out 2 of our plant monsters. Can you see the insane resource game of Rikka? I'm tributing your monster to bring back 2 of my monsters from the graveyard. Okay? Like, that's not fair. That's just not fair. So the opponent instantly sees that and they're like, I have no follow-up anyway, so I lose and I'm going to go ahead and scoop. And those are the 3 Rikka matches. Hopefully this video was helpful to show you how some of the Rikka combos can work and why it's so good. And it is free to play. I've made this deck on a brand new account. And again, I've linked the deck list in the description where you can check that out to see what's actually required to invest in this deck. But it's a fun deck to play for sure. And it can absolutely dominate once you learn the combos. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Quantum is out.